Alchemy, a seemingly magical process of creation, the medieval chemistry of the transformation of matter. Success stories are great, but those are not the only stories that exist. Let's dig deeper. The Alchemy Podcast. Because I wanted I wanted the idea of transmutating whatever circumstance that you have and transmutating that into something positive for yourself. As you know, you have that Manifest That Shit workshop. So of course, you know.
Yes.
So we have Christina Amador, and you are certified yoga and meditation teacher, Reiki healer, and intuitive life coach.
Yes.
How'd you get involved with all that?
So, I actually, I went through my hard times, my difficult times in my life, like we all do. And I didn't want to go, I've suffered with anxiety and depression, and I've been in that dark space and that hell. And I never wanted to go to a therapist and be like, prescribe me medication, like give me Xanax, like I want something to numb it. And it actually, through that shit, it led me to taking my own yoga classes and going to my own Reiki healers and finding therapists that are super spiritual. And it actually helped me come out of that dark place.
What was the point like that you went through and you're like, okay, no more of this. I really can't do this anymore. I have to make a change. What was that point?
Wow. So, well, I think the first really hard time in my life was when I was 12. And I found my mom passed away and I found her dead. And it was literally like one day to the next. And she was like my best friend, the love of my life. And I think that led to my anxiety and depression. And, over time, I got married. I had my beautiful daughter. I had the house, the white picket fence, my own business. Everything was like, perfect, like what society says, like you're going to have this is a perfect life if you have a child and a house and you own your own home. And then one day, my ex-husband I just felt like I was always very intuitive. And one day I just looked at him and I was like, do you love me anymore? And he said, no.
Wow.
And he's like, I'm not in love with you. I don't find you attractive. And I remember at that point, like, going and just being like, what the fuck? Like really, like literally, like the rug was lifted from right under me.
Wow.
But the funny thing is that a year before that happened, I was getting signs, and I actually heard in my head that I was going to get divorced.
Yeah.
But I was in denial, and I was like, no, I don't want these signs. Like I'm not looking. Like and then, that happened. And then I had a brand new Audi, that I always wanted. It got completely totaled. And so in 1 year, I lost, my dog got hit by a car in front of me. I lost my husband. My car was totaled. My best friend, we just stopped talking, and she was my rock. And then the last thing was my childhood house. I bought from my father when me and him got married. And this is a house that my mom died in. This is a house my daughter was born in. This house was so symbolic on so many levels. And I got like a letter saying like out of nowhere that the mortgage was going to be raised $1,000. And I was like, there's no fucking way. I'm a single mother. There's no way that I'm going to afford to pay extra. And I let it go. And I remember at that point, I was sitting upstairs in my bedroom. And I was, of course, I was crying and I was devastated. And I was like, what else? God, like I thought, I've been so good. Like I thought I've been such a kind human. Why are you doing this to me? And I was like, I don't want to live anymore. Like I was like, I'm done. Like I don't, what else can you possibly take from me? And then my daughter came upstairs and she saw me crying, and she's never really saw me cry because I always try to be very strong for her.
Yeah.
But something was like, she has to see you cry. Like she has to see that life isn't easy.
Well, yeah. Also, and crying isn't a sign of weakness. Vulnerability can also be very powerful.
Yes.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Don't let me interrupt you.
Yeah. No. So she, saw me crying. And then I remember in that moment, I was like, you know what? And maybe it was my intuition or, whatever it was, something divine. And it was like, let her see you cry because one day you are gonna be so amazing. You're gonna come on the top of this and she's gonna be so proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now through my journey, through that dark place, through that fucking hell that I experienced, I can tell you I've never been happier in my life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Honestly.
So that journey, how long was that journey for you before it started to get any better at all?
Maybe, you know what it is? I've always been interested in spiritual stuff. So I would dabble, like years before that happened, I would dabble in meditation. I would dabble in yoga. I would dabble in healers and all this stuff. And I would read a lot, would always read. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until that point, I felt like I was in a snow globe and like my whole world was like shook. Mm-hmm. And all the pieces were kind of like up in the air and they were just falling. And so it probably took about a year. Mm-hmm. I want to say like a good year, but it was up and down. It was like a roller coaster. But it was actually like my chance to practice what I preach. Whatever I'm preaching on social media, putting all these like inspirational stuff. Yeah. Instead of just saying, oh yeah, just do this. It was like, no, now's my opportunity to actually fucking do what I'm saying I'm doing instead of just talking. Yeah. And that's what I did. So through yoga, meditation, to me, meditation is fucking life-changing and it's free and you could do it in your home, like 5 minutes a day. And what meditation, you become, instead of being in the shit, you become the observer of the shit. So you look at it from a broader perspective. Yeah. And that's,
some say you allow God to be, or you allow yourself to be listening to what God is trying to tell you or the universe, whatever you believe. Yep. Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. So I think that was around the time where I first met you, actually.
That year.
That year. Yeah. So you took a change. You said that not only am I going to change my consciousness from a physiological, spiritual standpoint, I'm going to do that whole fucking thing and I'm going to make a change. Yeah. I'm going to start working out. Yeah. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to manifest that shit. So tell me about how you came across that. Like, what was the motivation between you making your workshop for Manifest That Shit and that journey between that terrible year and you saying, you know what? I want to empower other people.
So, that's a really interesting story. So because I was in that dark place, I was looking for any outlet, right? Any inspiration, any motivation. And my friend said, you need to go on Netflix and watch Tony Robbins.
I Am Not Your Guru?
Yes, on Netflix. And I saw that and I was like, I don't know who this man is. Mm-hmm. I saw him in Shallow Hal like years ago on the movie Shallow Hal. But I was like, I have to see him. I was like, I don't care. And then I went to see him. I did Unleash the Power Within, which is 4 days. And I walked on fire. Like that was life changing. Mm-hmm. And then the bigger one is his Date with Destiny. And that was in December of 2017. And I went to see him. It was a lot of money that I did not have, like $6,000. And I was just like, as a single mother, that was a lot for me. And I was like, fuck it. I was like, my intuition was like telling me, you have to go. The funny thing is I'm always booked. Like I have my own makeup business. So I'm booked with weddings all year round. That week that I went to see him in Florida, I had nothing. That whole week, nothing. So it was like divine. And also, I knew I had the feeling like a year before I got divorced that I was about to get divorced. I had the feeling that I was ready, like my guides or my angels or my intuition was telling me to stop my makeup business. And I was like, okay, guys, like stop taking all this shit away from me. Like, talking to the universe. I'm like, what else can you fucking possibly, like, I need this money. Like, this is my bread and butter. I'm a single mother, guys. Like, why are you now you're going to take my business? Yeah. So I went to see Tony Robbins, very motivational, very, you live one life, live it to the fullest. Mm-hmm. I came home from Tony Robbins and then I was like, okay, I'm ready to start my makeup business. I posted it on social media. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? But I'm just going to follow whatever's guiding me. Yeah. Like the alchemist. Yeah. And then I posted it with no backup plan. Absolutely no backup plan. I was just like, fuck it. Let's see what's going to happen. And, I was waiting for like maybe a download or my angels or someone, my intuition to give me an idea. And I wasn't hearing anything. And then I heard like a few weeks after I stopped the makeup, I heard go to Bali and learn yoga. And I was like, I like yoga, but I'm not going to be a yoga teacher. Like, I don't know. I'm not flexible. Like, I can't do a handstand.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Yeah. I was like, also with the energy of the Tony Robbins still in me, I was like, fuck it. Like, literally, that's my mantra. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So I went to Bali. I learned yoga for 3 weeks. I left my daughter. That trip was also very expensive. And as soon as I landed, I got a job, like instantly.
Nice.
And then, again, I was talking to the universe. I was like, give me another idea. And then I, at night, I always pray. And I said, okay, guys, like, I need money. Like, give me some money. That morning, I woke up with this whole download, this whole idea for Manifest That Shit. Like, the entire thing. Like, this is exactly how it's going to go. And I woke up and I just wrote it down. I was like, I'm going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I was thinking of, I thought you were going to tell me like, I was thinking about it for like 3 months and I worked on it really hard and it came to me, but it's like that whole journey of like that, the trials and failures. And then all of a sudden you wake up and it's right there. That's incredible. That's incredible. So what is your daily routine like? I know that you went through a whole bunch of things and, you went through, the divorce, you went through, a whole bunch of stuff, and it's probably made you instill yourself to have a daily routine that you stick to, and you're very well. Are you adamant about your daily routine? Do you have a set things that you do in the morning? Kind of,
sort of. I mean, I have a daughter, so she kind of like dictates how the morning goes. But I do. The first thing, as soon as I open my eyes, I say my I ams.
Yeah.
And it's however I'm feeling. So
for people that don't know what that is, what is that?
So, I am, anything that comes after I am is probably one of the most powerful things that you can tell yourself. So, and I do this actually in my workshop. We find out what our I ams are and what we need. So I'll wake up in the morning and I say, I am powerful. I am abundant. I am a multimillionaire. That's just like mine for now, but it always changes. If I feel insecure, if I don't feel like confident, I say, I'm confident. I am beautiful. I am powerful. So I'm constantly brainwashing myself instead of listening to my ego that wants to fill me with fear and tell me that I suck and that I'm not good enough and that I don't have a voice. I will immediately shut that down and replace it with I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So being that you're in this new mental space, and I think you're probably having more better days than not consistently, right?
Yes.
What's your biggest internal struggle now? Like, what is it that you're fighting right now? Being that you went through that shit a year, you manifested that shit, you got a business, and from the outside looking in, it's like she's very successful, but you still go through your shit.
Yes,
what are you fighting right now?
Yeah. Being seen.
Being seen.
Yeah.
Explain.
Like shining my light. I'm little by little shining my light. Coming out of my spiritual closet, and being authentic.
Not being afraid to be too much
too
or too
woo-woo
little
for people.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Because it is like a lot to be like, oh, I could channel spirit or I could help, heal people.
Yeah.
Like that. A lot of people, look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Cause I looked at my mom, like she was crazy because she was also a healer. So, until I was proven wrong. And it's funny because the people that would make fun of me are now coming to me and they're like, can you help me? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. So wait, just to backtrack, you said you lost your mom when you were how old?
12.
You were 12 years old.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't want to stop you in the middle of that story because you were telling me about that year and then the divorce and then all this stuff. But was your father in the picture at that time or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like between 12 and 18? Like, how did you survive those years of not having a mother?
Oh, it didn't hit me until high school.
Yeah.
And that is when I first discovered what anxiety and panic attacks and anxiety attacks and depression. Like I didn't want to leave my bed. I didn't want to get up and I didn't want to go out of the house because I'm like, something bad's going to happen. Like I can't, I just wanted to sleep all day.
Yeah.
And that was for many years. And I didn't, I did terrible in school. I cut school all the time. Like,
just acting out.
Yeah.
Pretty much acting out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were raised with your father at the time?
Yes.
Or if this is bringing up some old stuff right now, by all means, just let me know. But that time, did you have a good relationship with your father, or was it tumultuous?
Not really. No, I mean I think that that's like up to you. How do I explain my father? I think he never knew what love was growing up, so he never knew how to express that to me.
Yeah.
And he's also not stereotyping, but he's Dominican machismo, very much like.
I never knew you were Dominican.
Yeah, I'm half Dominican, half Italian.
Oh wow, oh shit.
Yeah. So, he was like, "Oh, the woman does this and this and cooks and clean," and I was like, "No." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be making my own business."
He must have loved that. He must have really respected that and loved that.
Yes. So, but you know what Tony Robbins says? He goes, if you had the parents you wanted, you wouldn't be the person you are today. Exactly. So because he was that way, I'm super independent because I like started making my own money when I was like 13, like getting, I was like, I'm not going to rely on my father. I'm just going to hustle. So that worth ethic took me till now.
Well, that's great because you know what? If you had the parents that you always wanted, like you said, you wouldn't be manifesting that shit. You wouldn't have been searching for to be a healer spiritually. You wouldn't be searching to elevate yourself every day the way that you still are. That's incredible. That's incredible. I have a theory that like, no matter what you start in, whatever the discipline, whether it's music or whatever, a lot of the times you don't start with the best. Sometimes the best people start with the least. People that have gone through the most struggle, people that have gone through the most turmoil and the most shit, the most unbelievable circumstances that you can't even imagine. And it's like, how are you here? How the fuck did you become what you are?
Yeah.
And that's why I have this podcast, to encourage those people who don't have encouragement from outside of that. So how can we keep up with you? What's next for you? What are you doing?
Oh God. So I have so much, you know what? I'm very much living my life. Like I think I used to have a fear of judgment. Of course, they still have that little voice that tells me that, like, don't put yourself out there. And I really am trying to now shine my light. But I just want really to help people who are suffering and who are stuck and who are not living their life to the fullest, because life is too short to be average and to, settle. Life is too short to settle. So, I think with the manifest that shit, I have seen people change their lives and give hope. And I mean, they've manifested. I mean, tons of people have manifested things that they were like unbelievable. So I am going to do another manifest that shit in August. And, my new download that the universe has given me, that I do want to do and I need to work on is, doing another workshop for empaths are someone who might absorb energy and they don't know how to protect themselves. So I do want to do, a workshop on that, but also incorporating how to make money using your intuition, like how I used these downloads or these ideas and I'm making money. I want to teach other people how to tap into their intuition and open that up so they can also receive downloads to make some money.
And what else?
And I also, I have a million things. My next thing is I really want to do a Bali retreat in February of 2020.
Okay.
So that's what I'm manifesting because that's going to be life changing.
And one other thing you're forgetting. What else?
Oh, and a podcast.
There it is. What's the name of that podcast?
A Goddess and a Gay.
And one more time. What is it?
A Goddess and a Gay.
Cool. How can we keep up with you on your Instagram? What is your Instagram?
My Instagram is Awaken Your Goddess.
Awaken Your Goddess.
Yes.
With 2 S's, of course. The
Yes.
Facebook Goddess.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm on Facebook, just Christina Amador.
Great. And where will you be teaching these fucking workshops? Where? Tell me where.
At Space 226.
One more time.
Space 226.
Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is brought to you also by Space 226. For all of your content creating, video, wedding, fitness needs, Space 226, follow that page as well. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Please
having me.
make sure you follow Christina Amador because she's amazing. I heard amazing things about manifest that shit, and I'm taking the next class.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Yes.